Every home is filled with objects, furniture, devices, decorations, memories. But beneath the surface there are energies that cannot be seen yet have a powerful effect on how you think, feel, and grow. They are not physical demons or dark forces. They are subtle patterns of thought and behavior that quietly consume your attention, your calm, and your strength. They live in your routines, in your habits, in the atmosphere you create each day. The moment you become aware of them, you begin to take back control over your mind and environment. The art of self-mastery begins not outside of you, but within the spaces you inhabit and the energy you allow to exist there. The first invisible energy that destroys peace is clutter. Clutter is not just the mess on your desk or the clothes scattered across your room. It is the reflection of a scattered mind. Every object that has no purpose still demands a fraction of your attention. It whispers for your energy even when you don't notice it. When you walk through a space filled with unnecessary things, your mind subconsciously processes them all, creating fatigue without reason. Decluttering is not simply about cleaning. It is about clarity. When you remove what you no longer need, your surroundings begin to breathe and your mind follows. Order is not perfectionism. It is a form of respect toward your own mental space. The second invisible energy is noise can be external. The constant sound of notifications, television, or endless conversation. But it can also be internal, the voice that never stops comparing, fearing, or replaying the past. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of awareness. Yet we often drown ourselves in distractions because silence forces us to face our own thoughts. When your home is filled with noise, your mind never gets a chance to reset. Begin to create moments of quiet. Turn off the devices. Sit without input. The mind, when silent, begins to heal. What seems like emptiness at first is actually the doorway to clarity. The third invisible energy is unfinished business. These are the projects half-started, the promises left hanging, the conversations avoided. Every incomplete action keeps a small portion of your energy trapped in the past. You may not realize it, but your attention remains divided between what is done and what is waiting to be done. The result is a constant sense of restlessness. Completion brings peace because it closes energetic loops. When you commit to finishing what you start or consciously releasing what no longer belongs to you, you make space for new possibilities. Peace enters where procrastination ends. The fourth invisible energy is resentment. Resentment hides in memories, in old conversations, in small grudges that you think no longer matter. But resentment is like dust, invisible until the light hits it, yet always there, coating everything with heaviness. You carry it into your home, into your relationships, into your rest. It steals the softness from your energy and replaces it with tension. Forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you. It is for the peace that has been waiting to return to you. To forgive does not mean to excuse. It means to release yourself from emotional bondage. Your home should not be a storage place for bitterness. The fifth invisible energy is comparison. In the modern world, comparison has become as common as breathing. You see others' achievements, beauty, or possessions, and begin to measure your own worth against them. Slowly, gratitude fades, replaced by quiet dissatisfaction. Your home then becomes filled with things bought to impress, not to serve your well-being. You chase appearances rather than peace. The antidote to comparison is presence. When you live fully in your own rhythm, you stop racing invisible competitors. Every life has its own timing, and when you accept that, your energy stops scattering toward illusions. Your peace is restored when your focus returns to your path. The sixth invisible energy is complaint. Complaining is a habit that poisons the atmosphere faster than anything else. Each time you complain, you affirm powerlessness. You train your mind to see problems instead of possibilities. Complaint changes nothing but drains everything. Gratitude, on the other hand, transforms perception. The moment you shift from asking why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this, your energy shifts from victimhood to responsibility. A home filled with gratitude feels lighter, warmer, and alive. Your words shape your environment as much as your actions do. Speak with awareness, because your voice sets the tone of your space. The seventh invisible energy is fear of change. Many people keep things, habits, or even relationships, not because they need them, but because they are afraid of what might come after letting go. Fear of change creates stagnation. It is like stale air, invisible yet suffocating. It keeps you living in the comfort of what you know while silently blocking the growth waiting beyond it. When you begin to remove what no longer supports your peace, fear will whisper that you are losing something important, but what you are actually doing is clearing space for renewal. The mind, like the body, needs circulation. Allow movement. Allow evolution. Allow transformation. Each of these invisible energies feeds on your inattention. The less aware you are, the stronger they become. The moment you start observing them, clutter, noise, unfinished business, resentment, comparison, complaint, and fear of change, they begin to lose their power. Awareness itself is purification. Awareness brings choice, and choice brings freedom. You are never truly trapped by your environment. You are shaped by what you tolerate within it. A peaceful home is not defined by luxury or silence, but by alignment. When every object, every sound, every action reflects intention rather than accident. Start with small steps. Pick one corner of your home and clear it. Turn off one unnecessary sound. Finish one old task. Apologize where your heart feels heavy. Remove one comparison from your mind. Replace one complaint with gratitude. Take one small risk that moves you beyond comfort. Peace is built through the accumulation of these tiny, consistent choices. Over time, your space begins to feel lighter, your thoughts clearer, and your emotions calmer. Your home is not just a physical shelter. It is an extension of your inner state. If it feels chaotic, look within, not for fault, but for opportunity. The environment mirrors the mind, and the mind mirrors the environment. As one becomes more peaceful, so does the other. You cannot fully control the world outside, but you can shape the atmosphere where you live, work, and rest. The moment you take responsibility for that atmosphere, you stop being a victim of unseen energies and become their master. In the end, the real enemy is not something placed in your home, but something allowed in your awareness. The invisible energies that destroy peace survive only through neglect. But when you awaken to them, when you live with intention and clarity, your home becomes a sanctuary, not of perfection but of balance. The air feels lighter, the mind quieter, and the heart freer. You begin to realize that peace was never missing. It was only covered by layers of what no longer belonged. And as you clear those layers, what remains is the simplest yet most powerful truth. Peace is not found, it is revealed, one mindful choice at a time. Sometimes, what weakens you the most isn't something you can easily identify. It isn't the obvious conflict or the visible challenge that breaks your focus. It's the quiet, invisible habits that live in your daily rhythm. The small compromises that seem too minor to matter. The words you repeat to yourself without awareness. The people you allow to occupy space in your mind, even when they're no longer physically present. These are the harmless things that slowly drain your inner strength, piece by piece, until one day you wake up and wonder where your energy went. What seems harmless at first is often what does the most damage, because it enters without resistance and lives within you unchallenged. Real strength is not built in moments of victory. It's built in the invisible decisions that protect your peace. Every time you choose to stay calm instead of reacting, you strengthen your mind. Every time you choose silence over meaningless argument, you sharpen your focus. The energy that seems harmless, the constant scrolling, the small complaints, the gossip disguised as conversation, these are the quiet leaks that make you weaker over time. You don't notice them immediately because they don't strike with force. they erode slowly, blending into your routine until your awareness dulls. You start believing you're just tired or unmotivated, when in truth, your energy has been scattered by things unworthy of it. Your strength doesn't leave you, you give it away. Every time you dwell on the past, every time you engage in comparison, every time you argue for validation, you're handing small portions of your life force to something that gives nothing back. This is why protecting your energy is not a selfish act. It's a disciplined one. You cannot live with clarity when your attention is divided. You cannot build inner power when your mind is constantly reacting to small distractions. If you want to grow stronger, you must first become aware of what makes you weaker. There are energies that disguise themselves as comfort, this endless consumption of noise, the habit of staying busy just to avoid silence, the dependency on others for emotional balance. These things feel harmless because they keep you occupied, but they quietly pull you away from your core. True power requires stillness. It needs time to breathe, to reflect, to observe. The more external noise you allow, the less you can hear your inner voice. And when you can't hear your own voice, you begin to follow others unconsciously. That's how strength fades, not through defeat but through distractions. It's important to understand that energy does not disappear. It only moves. If you are not directing it consciously, it's being directed for you. Think of every thought, every emotion, every habit as an investment of energy. Some things multiply it, others drain it. When you complain, you lose energy. When you judge others, you leak energy. When you react to every situation emotionally, you waste energy. But when you breathe, observe, and respond with awareness, you conserve it. The more energy you keep, the more powerful your presence becomes. People who have mastered themselves don't need to raise their voice. The calm alone commands attention. You can't always control what enters your life, but you can control what stays. There are people who leave behind emotional residue, places that carry heavy energy, and habits that keep you looping in the same emotional cycle. Becoming aware of these silent influences is a form of self-defense. Protecting your energy isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. It's learning to choose what truly nourishes your growth and letting go of what doesn't. The hardest part isn't cutting off negativity, it's recognizing that you've grown comfortable with it. The most harmless looking things often carry the greatest danger because they feel normal. You may think that 1 hour of meaningless scrolling doesn't matter, but over time it dulls your attention. You may believe that one negative conversation won't affect you, but your mind records it and repeats it later in your thoughts. You may think your surroundings don't influence you, but energy is contagious. The clutter around you, both physical and mental, weighs on your awareness. To stay sharp, you must constantly clear what no longer serves you. The process of cleansing your energy is not a one-time act. It's a daily practice. Discipline is not about control, it's about direction. Every time you resist an impulse that doesn't align with your purpose, you train your mind to conserve energy. When you wake up early, move your body, breathe consciously, and focus your thoughts, you generate more strength than any external motivation could ever provide. Because strength built from within cannot be taken away. External validation can vanish. Success can fluctuate, but the energy you cultivate internally remains yours. There will always be moments when life feels heavy, when energy seems low. In those moments, ask yourself, where is my energy going? What am I feeding with my attention? Energy follows focus. If you focus on problems, they expand. If you focus on growth, it multiplies. The quality of your life is determined by where you place your awareness. Learn to redirect it towards what uplifts you, sharpens you, and aligns you. You don't need to fight the negative. You simply need to stop feeding it. The more you resist, the more power you give it. Instead, observe it with calm awareness and shift your attention elsewhere. Energy moves to where it's received. When you stop reacting, the energy that once fueled your frustration becomes available for creation. This is how calm people achieve so much with so little effort. They have mastered the redirection of energy. Guarding your energy doesn't mean building walls. It means creating filters. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves access to your mental space. Choose your words with care, your company with awareness, and your thoughts with precision. The people and environments you interact with either raise your vibration or lower it. Surround yourself with what brings clarity, not confusion. In the end, strength is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how consciously you use your energy. Anyone can survive chaos, but only the discipline can remain peaceful within it. The world will always test your balance. It will always tempt you to react, to waste energy on what doesn't matter. But every time you choose awareness over impulse, stillness over reaction, focus over noise, you are reclaiming your power. So be careful with the energy that looks harmless. It might seem small, it might seem insignificant, but it's the small leaks that sink the biggest ships. Your mind is the vessel that carries you through life. Keep it clean, keep it clear, and keep it strong. Protect your focus as you would protect your breath, because they are both signs of life. When you begin to guard your energy like something sacred, you'll realize how powerful you've been all along. That power doesn't come from force. It comes from presence, awareness, and discipline. That is the true strength that no one can take away, because it lives quietly within you, waiting to be remembered. Every environment carries a vibration, a silent tone, that shapes the way you think, feel, and behave, whether you are aware of it or not. It's not just the people you interact with or the sounds you hear, it's the unseen texture of the energy surrounding you that influences your emotional state. You may not always feel it directly, but over time, the energy around you becomes a mirror of what's happening within you. When this vibration becomes heavy through conflict, clutter, or emotional neglect, it begins to shape your thoughts and decisions in subtle ways. You start to feel tired without reason, irritable without cause, and distracted without knowing why. It is not the world attacking you, it's the energy you've allowed to stagnate around you. Cleaning your energy is not about performing rituals or waiting for a perfect moment of inspiration. It's about awareness and deliberate care. It means noticing what you feed your senses and what you allow to remain in your space. Every sound you listen to, every word you speak, every thought you entertain becomes part of your energetic environment. If you constantly fill your surroundings with noise, disorder, or negativity, you begin to lose the quiet strength that allows clarity to grow. Awareness is the first step to purification. Once you become aware of what drains your energy, you can begin to let go of it. Your personal energy field extends far beyond your body. It fills your home, your workspace, and every place you spend time. When it becomes cluttered, your mind becomes restless. When it's clean, everything around you starts to feel lighter and more focused. You might notice that after organizing a room, you suddenly breathe better, or after ending a toxic conversation, you feel a quiet peace. That's not coincidence, it's energy alignment. Energy renewal happens when you begin to choose consciously what you allow to stay and what must go. Most people wait until they feel drained before they start to care about their energy, but by then they are already trapped in reaction. The key is prevention, keeping your inner and outer space clear before the heaviness controls you. Think of your surroundings as an extension of your inner world. If your space is chaotic, it reflects the thoughts you've been avoiding. If your environment is peaceful, it mirrors your mental order. A cluttered table, a messy phone, or constant digital distraction may seem trivial, but these are small leaks of attention that eventually lead to mental fatigue. Cleaning your energy is not just about tidying up. It's about consciously resetting the vibration of the space where your awareness lives. You don't need to seek silence in a faraway place. You can build it where you are. Start with one decision to become selective with what you allow. Begin by observing how each thing around you makes you feel. Does it bring calmness or tension? Does it inspire or drain? Every object carries memory. Every sound carries intention. Every word carries frequency. When you release what doesn't match your peace, you create room for strength to return. Peace is not an empty space. It is a powerful energy that grows when unnecessary weight is removed. You may not always realize how other people's emotions affect you. If you spend time with people who constantly complain or gossip, their energy seeps into your space. When you listen to it too long, your vibration adjusts to theirs. It's not about judging or rejecting others. It's about understanding that energy is contagious. Protecting yourself means maintaining emotional boundaries. You can care for others without absorbing their heaviness. The best protection is awareness, recognizing when the energy around you starts to pull you out of alignment and gently returning to balance. When your environment becomes heavy, it starts to control your emotions. You might find yourself reacting sharply, losing patience, or feeling uninspired. It's not always your personality. Sometimes it's your environment echoing back to you what it has absorbed. This is why it's essential to refresh it often. Open windows, let light enter, breathe deeply. Rearrange things that no longer reflect who you are. Physical actions change the flow of invisible energy. Every time you move, clean, or organize, you send a signal to your mind that renewal is possible, but the deeper cleaning happens in the invisible realm of thought. If your mind is full of old resentment, unresolved worries, or endless comparisons, no external order will be enough. The inner clutter will always recreate itself in your surroundings. To clean internally means to forgive, to release, to let thoughts pass without clinging to them. The more you observe your mind without judgment, the more it begins to calm down naturally. A calm mind radiates clarity, and that clarity begins to influence the energy around you. This is why people who cultivate inner peace often seem to change the atmosphere of a room simply by being there. Their vibration silently cleanses what is chaotic. Every word you speak also carries an energetic residue. Words can heal or harm, strengthen or scatter. Speak intentionally. Avoid unnecessary complaints or arguments. Language builds energy patterns in the space you live in. When your words align with calm and purpose, your environment becomes an ally, not an enemy. Even the tone of your thoughts matters. Inner dialogue is the constant whisper shaping your vibration, replacing criticism with compassion, fear with awareness, and tension with breathing changes the invisible air around you. Energy is like water. It flows where your attention goes. If you constantly focus on what's wrong, your energy thickens around problems. If you focus on solutions, gratitude, or quiet observation, your vibration becomes lighter. Cleaning energy is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing dialogue with life. It requires honesty. It asks you to notice when you are holding on to something heavy and to make the decision to let it go again and again. When your energy is clean, your mind becomes sharper. You stop reacting impulsively because nothing inside you is clouded. You respond instead of resist. You start to sense when something or someone doesn't belong in your space, not from judgment but from clarity. You begin to move with purpose rather than habit. People often misunderstand this calmness as detachment, but it is a deeper form of connection, the kind that doesn't drain you. To clean your energy is to remember that you are not separate from your surroundings. You influence them, and they influence you. The more harmony you build within, the more harmony reflects outside. This practice transforms ordinary life into a meditation. Walking becomes grounding, breathing becomes awareness, and cleaning becomes a spiritual act of balance. You begin to notice that peace doesn't require escape. It only requires attention. When you keep your energy clean, you no longer get lost in noise. The world continues to spin with its chaos, but you stand steady, anchored in calmness. Others may rush, argue, or panic, but your clarity remains untouchable because it comes from maintenance, not luck. That is the quiet strength of an aware person. They don't need to control others or dominate situations. They simply move through life with precision, knowing that the most powerful energy is the one that remains calm no matter the storm. Cleaning your energy is not about perfection, it's about intention. Every day is an opportunity to realign. Every breath can reset your vibration. Every choice can strengthen your peace. When you treat your energy as something sacred, you stop letting the world control you. You become the calm within the chaos, the balance within the noise, and the light that doesn't flicker when darkness approaches. That is how true control begins, not by fighting the world, but by mastering the unseen energy that connects you to it.